Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about why Boruto 2 Blue Vortex has made a very wise decision in the last chapter by keeping Boruto out of chapter 18, which based on some of the reactions that I've seen, it looks as if this was not a popular decision by the narrator to keep Naruto's firstborn child out of the last chapter. Fun fact, this is the first chapter where Boruto hasn't even made an appearance in the story at all so far during Boruto 2 Blue Vortex's serialization. That's why in today's newest Naruto Explained video, I wanted to talk to you guys about why the path the story's been taking is actually a really good one, and it should not be afraid to have Boruto removed from the story for short to extended periods of time moving forward. It actually serves the story in a lot of big ways. Now, I know this is something that might make some of you guys go, yo, why should the story take Boruto out of it? It's literally called Boruto. It's a complaint I saw quite a few times in the last chapter and even the chapter before that, because Boruto's barely in that chapter. He had like 3 pages. While Boruto is the primary character whose journey we are following, he is not the only character the story has focused on, and for the sake of balance and extending the world building, he cannot be the only character who is the main focus of every chapter. He can't even be the supporting focus of every chapter. As they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Boruto being kept out of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 18 was a strong writing decision for multiple reasons, especially in terms of the world building, the character growth, and the narrative pacing. This move aligns with storytelling strategies that were used in Naruto and Dragon Ball, something that Ikimoto is heavily influenced by, allowing for other characters to shine while Boruto is getting the opportunity to have his story's thematic role as a singularity of fate be singled in and shown to us. Here's why this decision works so well. The world building expansion of the narrative beyond Boruto is crucial. By shifting the focus even for a brief period of time away from Boruto, the story reinforces the idea that the world does not revolve around him solely. The Naruto franchise has always thrived at its best when it allowed side characters to develop. And this chapter, it did exactly that. By focusing on Sarada, Konohamaru, Yodo, and Araya with their mission against Ryu and Matsuri, the narrative fleshes out how the other shinobi react to the Shinju threat. The way these characters navigate using deception and battle tactics to gain the trust of the awakened Shinju, even though they failed in that regard, it adds depth to the power dynamics between human and the Shinju themselves. You also have Jura's looming presence as an external threat. It ensures that even though Boruto isn't present, his influence is still felt because we know that the Shinju are looking for Boruto. Both of these characters, as well as the audience, know that if Boruto were to appear, Jura would act immediately. This is no different than how for a time in Naruto got shafted into the background so he could focus more on some of the stuff Sasuke was doing. The same thing. By letting the Land of Wind subplot that we have breathe, Ikimoto is strengthening the setting and he's keeping the conflict from feeling like a one-man show because, again, Boruto's been in damn near every skirmish we've seen. He's either been at the back end of it or he's been directly mixed up in it. You also allow for growth of other characters, including developing Sarada, Konohamaru, and all the supporting shinobi. Sarada, for example, gets to showcase any potential leadership there, combat growth while confronting Ryu, which is huge because she wants to be a Hokage one day, so her taking charge at some point or coming up very clutch in the support role is huge for her, while also having the moral dilemma of deceiving the Shinju, which Sarada's moved past that, but we know she also has some of her issues with the class rep and Boruto love triangle too. This deepens her internal conflicts and it reinforces her Hokage aspirations. With Konohamaru, he plays a crucial role as a mentor figure, showing that his tactical mindset is still there and proving that he's more than just a sensei to the students, while also getting the opportunity to explore more of the feelings he might have for Moegi. You also have Yodo and Araya. They finally get meaningful roles. making this Land of Wind arc feel like it's lived in terms of the place with the competent shinobi who are not just side characters meant to be outshined by Boruto. This is the first time in the manga we've seen them in any meaningful way. If you go read the versus Momoshiki arc of the manga, they were barely in it. Araya saving Sarada, it emphasizes teamwork, shifting the dynamic away from Boruto being the sole savior of his friends and reinforcing the idea that everyone must pull their weight. For all the people who say, I miss when things were more like Naruto, this is what Naruto did. Teamwork. By making these characters carry the chapter's tension, where we know that they are outmatched and they're going to have to rely on hacks, with Araya having to rely on that jutsu that he and Shinki developed together, Yodo, whatever jutsu she might have, Sarada and Mitsuki with whatever progress they've made with training. The story is proving that Boruto's allies, they are capable, they are evolving, rather than just relying on him every time. Which again, to go back to what everyone says, I want it to be like more of Naruto. Naruto is a story that says shinobi endure. This is enduring. For Boruto, it also is something where it gives him the opportunity to learn to trust his comrades. A key part of Boruto's growth is learning that he does not have to be the only one solving everything. It is a lesson that his own father had to learn during the Fourth Ninja War. Naruto got so powerful to a point that he thought that he had to shoulder the burden alone. Boruto so far in Two Blue Vortex, he's asked for help in certain instances, but Boruto has been the one doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Throughout Boruto Two Blue Vortex, he's been a focal point in major conflicts, whether it be against Code, whether it be against Hidari, or even Juris choosing to circle in on him. He's often saved his allies at the very last moment, like we saw with Sarada and Himawari. Kashin Koji withholding a definitive survival percentage for Sarada's team. It creates a psychological tension for Boruto. He wants to go, but he is forced to trust his friends, and he is forced to stay away for his own survival because Juro will kill him. Again, this parallels Naruto's own struggles in the past, where he had to learn to trust others rather than rushing into battle blindly because he was led by his emotions. By keeping Boruto out of the fight, Ikimoto challenges Boruto as a character to accept his own limitations and trust in his allies' strength, reinforcing the theme that he is not alone in this war against the Shinju and building upon one of the themes of Naruto, again, teamwork. Unless a battle warranted an emotional payoff for a 1 versus 1, oftentimes everybody was jumping people in Naruto. This also follows the narrative approach that you saw in Naruto as well as Dragon Ball. I know people get annoyed when I bring Dragon Ball up in Boruto stuff, but Ikimoto, as a hardcore fan, has referenced a lot, especially with his drawings, especially with the way that he panels. It has to be brought up. Understanding inspiration is a key aspect to understanding what the narrative's trying to do. So Ikimoto's decision making and how he's been writing so far, it mirrors two major storytelling techniques that Naruto and Dragon Ball have done when they were expanding the world building themselves. So the Naruto approach, it comes from shifting the focus onto the side characters. So Naruto, when you read the manga, it's dedicated entire arcs to either the secondary main character in Sasuke, where Naruto is barely involved, or it's given side characters. This is rare. After part 1, this is rare, but it's given side characters like Shikamaru during the Akatsuki suppression arc, side characters like that the opportunity to pull a lot of the weight during that arc. And even with the Sasuke retrieval team, Naruto was still pretty front and center there, but you got snapshots where you can see the other characters grow. But for the most part in Naruto's manga, it was the Team 7 show. Every now and then we got to see the other secondary characters, but once we got past the tuning exams in part 1, a lot of them went on the wayside in the manga. We saw the one-on-one battles during the Sasuke retrieval team, and then for the most part in a combat setting, we didn't really see them do too much until the war arc. Team 10 got the most development outside of Team 7 in Naruto's manga, and it looks like Ikimoto's following that because Team 10 is the only team from Boruto's generation we've seen. This also gives more emphasis for the supporting cast members while reinforcing Naruto's role in the grander scheme itself, which is what Naruto's manga did. By taking Naruto out the story in the way that Kishimoto did, it subsequently built Naruto up. When you look at Boruto 2 Blue Vortex doing the same thing, it prevents the story from feeling too centered on Boruto, even though as a monthly manga, it's going to have more focus on Boruto than Naruto did as a weekly manga, but inevitably, it's going to make his eventual return to the battlefield feel a lot more impactful. When you look at the Dragon Ball approach, it is strategically removing the protagonist, which is what Akira Toriyama did a lot. So Akira Toriyama frequently wrote Goku out this story for extended periods of time, especially once Goku reached a certain level of power. Once he got to a certain strength level after chapter 234, I believe, which that should be the chapter where Raditz comes to Earth and ends up killing Goku a few chapters later. After that, he was shown healing following the Vegeta battle and being absent for most of the Artificial Human saga, better known to English dub fans as being the Android saga, and he was absent for most of the Buu saga, only in a supporting role and stepping in after other characters like Gohan, Vegeta, and Trunks were given development before Goku returned at key moments to take on whatever antagonist you had. In Boruto, keeping Boruto out of battles, it strategically ensures that when he does step in, his presence carries more weight than being taken for granted. Think about it for a second. That's exactly what they did with the Hidari fight. Boruto didn't show up right there at the front. Konohamaru was given a chance to show the Rasen barrier. Sarada was given an opportunity to do her stuff against Hidari. Same thing with Himawari. Himawari was given an opportunity to fight against Jura for an extended period of time. Then Boruto stepped in and saved both of them. And then Boruto, instead of just fighting Hidari alone, fights alongside Sarada. And we see their teamwork. That is more impactful because Boruto was kept out. Notice how when Himawari got ready to start fighting, what was Boruto having to do? He was having to suppress Momoshiki because the Karma Seal had cut on. It's very strategically done. That's why I liken it to Dragon Ball. Ikimoto just put his own twist on it, which is what you do when you take inspiration from something. By applying these techniques that Ikimoto's done, he's ensuring that Boruto does not suffer from overexposure while maintaining the larger conflict stakes. So in conclusion, I'll say this: a smart long-term writing decision is something that should consider taking more of this approach with Boruto, pulling him out for even if it's just short periods of time where we just see him a few panels here or there and the other characters get the opportunity to do what they do, and then you bring Boruto back in it. By keeping Boruto out of chapter 18, it was the right call because it expanded the world building. It fleshes out the Land of Wind conflict, which, reminder, world building does not just mean go to island to island, city to city, and etc. It also gives supporting characters like Sarada, Konohamaru, Yodo, and Araya a chance for meaningful growth, even if it's only in increments. Growth is still growth. It also forces Boruto to trust in his comrades rather than taking all the responsibility onto himself. It also takes inspiration from its influences. Naruto is the parent series, and Dragon Ball, which heavily influences Ikimoto's storytelling and his art. It ensures that Boruto, his return to battle, whenever it happens, it feels earned. This approach makes the story feel more immersive, and it prevents Boruto from feeling like an invincible protagonist who always solves every problem. You don't want another situation of, whoops, Super Boruto shows up and saves the day again. That was something that we started seeing rumblings of when 2 Blue Vortex started up, because people said, oh my god, Boruto's so powerful, he's too powerful. Now you get an opportunity to start balancing that out a little bit. That's why Jura has to be as strong as he is. By doing this, Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, it will ultimately gain better pacing because it is switching things up by subverting expectations and is giving you the opportunity for richer and slower character development and a stronger emotional payoff when Boruto inevitably returns to the battlefield. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and clicking over here on the left to check out more content from Naruto Explained, or clicking over here on the right to check out videos from my Anime Explained channel, where I talk about non-Naruto content in the form of video essays, lore videos, explained videos, chapter reviews, and so much more.